Hey Riley.
Hi.
Hey Riley. You should do
Hi.
something. You should tell me a joke.
Um, the what did the doctor say to the cockroach?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That looks like my ex-wife.
How'd you fucking know? That's not what I was gonna say. Nothing. They can't talk. But,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yours is better.
Okay. All right. Well, if you didn't notice by now, this is our tell me a joke reaction video. Just came out at midnight tonight, so this is our first initial reactions. Yeah, Riley, have anything else to say?
No, we're gonna watch the video and then we're gonna get right into it. I love that shot of the hand dragging him back in.
True.
Also, can we coin that his signature dance move yet? Because
Yeah,
he does
just
it.
goes like this.
He does it all the time.
That's what I'm laughing at. It's so funny that it's just like, yeah, like with his hand.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
It's hilarious. I don't know.
It's so weird.
It's his thing. So what did you think of the video overall? I mean, you only watched it once.
Yeah, that was my first watch. It was pretty good. I like here's my first initial thought. I don't know if you've noticed this. Why are some of the camera quality is insanely good, and some of it is just bad?
I feel like that's just an aesthetic thing. It could have a deeper meaning.
I wanna know why he chose the bad quality when he did.
Fair. There might be a reasoning for it. I haven't looked that deep into it. I just kind of assumed it was to try to get that like lo-fi aesthetic that he nails on the music video in general.
But he brings in that good camera quality too, which confuses me. Like if you're trying for that aesthetic, I feel like you'd get the entire video in that aesthetic. But then he brings in some really good quality shots.
Yeah.
Which kind of confuse me and why he does that.
Yeah, I'm hoping throughout the album we'll start to learn more, because there's still a lot of questions to be answered about this album. But we're starting to get more. Like the more we get, the more we're gonna understand. I thought it was interesting how he was hiding from the spotlight, but other times he was almost embracing it. It seemed like.
Yeah.
It seemed like his persona would embrace it, but him himself would run away from it, which kind of makes sense. Quadeca is a very good character, but how often do we ever see Ben? Right?
I mean, he sings about that in voice memos.
Yeah,
like Red Dot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think he even brings it up in From Me to You. I can't.
Yeah, Red Dot is referenced a couple times.
But even like, is People Pleaser almost like that too?
Yeah.
You kind of think of it.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, that's kind of more like Heartbreak. But I mean, his YouTube career, obviously, and everyone looking at him, especially those 2 years where he basically redid his entire album.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure on him. Everyone was kind of giving him a hard time.
He was in the spotlight. So.
Yeah. He did the right thing. But yeah, I agree. I don't know what it's looking like. It's looking through like a peephole a lot of times throughout the video. And I looked even at some of his older videos, and it's the same peephole. That same shot's been used numerous times in the come up. To me, it almost looks like a gun barrel. I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but it looks similar to it. And I think the intro track on the album will kind of conclude if it was a suicide. But based on some of the lyrics in this one, as well as a lot of the lyrics in Born Yesterday, I think it is. And I think that might be a symbol to it. It's just we don't know yet, like, conclusively. Hopefully we'll find that out, though.
I can see your barrel thing. The thing with the barrel, I don't know. It seems like when he, like, pulled out...
It seemed like a door, also. It could be a keyhole. Because, I mean, he does talk about... But
it's so circular. I think it's a peephole.
In the second verse, he says, "Reach through the walls, felt for a key." So it could be a keyhole where he's trying to, because I mean that would mean he's trying to get out. Like he's trying to find the key so he can open the door and go back into life.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is a keyhole, that kind of makes sense. It's his way of peering through, trying to see what life was like before.
Yeah.
And I mean, throughout this whole thing, he's talking about how he wishes he didn't do it. Like, right away in verse 1, he was saying that like people were laughing at him. Shit, I drew a blank.
I do like at the very beginning when we were talking about how he's like a comedian and he was, I mean, it goes with the song "Tell Me a Joke," but it's almost like they were forcing him to make those jokes at some point, like he was being forced to do
To be funny.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was also interesting, just the way he did that. And the spotlight was an interesting thing to do as well.
In verse 1, he was saying, "I had so many things left to do. You said it was too soon," is kind of saying how he wishes that he could go back. He does say, in verse 2, he said, "Something feels off. Was it the words that I spoke, or was it something else? The door must have broke. How could that be?" So he's like, he uses the metaphor of the door passing into this afterlife at other points in the song. So it very well could tie all to that. Also, one thing, I read this on Genius, so I'm stealing this, but I'm gonna say this to you and whoever's watching. In the joke part, so in the intro, he said, "What's the deal with airline food?" And then immediately went to, "That reminds me of my ex-wife."
Yeah.
That just goes right over my head right away. Somebody pointed out that that might be a callback to "From Me to You" from a long-distance relationship, which is what essentially that album was about. That kind of makes sense, right?
Well, when I was watching that
food.
music video, he was like, "How about that airline food?" And then went, "That reminds me of my ex-wife," as he was pointing at someone else. It's almost like he's a comedian trying to make jokes. You know?
Yeah. So that might be drawing conclusions that aren't there, but it is interesting.
I think the music video kind of confirms that he was just trying to, in my mind, that he was just trying to be a comedian, make a joke there in that instance. I don't think.
But it also could have been a double meaning.
It could have been.
It could have been he's fitting that, but he's also, this is a really low key meaning to this. If
Maybe.
you catch it. It also could just be a coincidence as people looking too far into it. I feel like we do that with artists. Everyone does. Yeah, I thought it was a really good song. I did like, so in the instrumental bridge, so that part where it's like building up, right at the start of it, you hear a lot of laughters that are like surrounding you. I thought that was really cool. I mean, there was a little bit of that going on throughout the whole mix, but it really built up there, and you almost feel like you're being crushed by the laughter, which is really kind of cool to feel that sonically. I also noticed that there was, when he said "reaching through the walls" in the chorus, he said that a couple times. Was it the chorus? I don't remember where it was, but he says that like 2 or 3 times in the track. There's like a sound of a ghost going from your left ear to your right ear that kind of slides across, which was really neat. He's played with that in past songs. I very much like that he did that here as well. Although in the instrumental bridge, I will say there was a little bit too much distortion for me. The hats felt very electronic.
Okay.
That's a personal thing that some people probably love that, but it hurt my ears a little bit.
As you can tell, Riley has prepared more than I have. I have been busy all day, but Riley's been listening to literally everything, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've gone through a lot. But yeah, I very much enjoyed the song. I thought it was a really good track. I thought the production gets like an 8. I think it's done really well. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's not a song that I am going to love listening to. It's not going to be my favorite on the album. I prefer listening to Born Yesterday. Meaning, I gave it a 9. It's not quite as far out there as Born Yesterday. That song still gives me shivers when I listen to it because of how meaningful it is. 9 might even be a little bit too generous on the meaning on this, but upon like first few listens, that's what I'm leaning. And then I'm thinking an 8, 8.5 overall score for this song. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so just off the top of my head, I've probably listened to this song 10, 15 times since this morning. This is all in, obviously, like you said, the first couple of listens. But I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics a ton. I mean, I was just doing stuff while I was listening to it, so I wouldn't like. It's hard to like decipher the lyrics if you're not paying attention.
That and he
I feel like
kind of mixes it in a way where it's kind of hard to hear every word he's saying. It takes a while
Exactly.
to learn it.
Yeah, so especially if you're doing other stuff and listening, the production really takes over. So I guess, I went over the lyrics a couple times. Haven't really like driven deep into them. I think it's like a 7-ish, 6, 7 maybe. I don't know. I just haven't really looked into it. I haven't really like. Also, like, I feel like in Born Yesterday, like there was like lyrics that like I would sing even like the first couple listens. Honestly, this one there's not a ton of like, like
memorable
something
lyrics.
I would sing. Yeah.
It
I don't even.
It feels like it almost feels not quite an interlude, but closer to that on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Where I personally think that intro track is gonna be a heavy one. I don't know anything. I'm predicting shit. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a 8-minute track for the first song. It's called Sorry for Dying. I don't know if he's killing himself in the song, and if he does, that's gonna require like a 2-minute, probably just instrumental of the transition, and then it's gonna go into something else, and it's gonna have to talk about like why he did it a little bit, I would think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to set up for this album.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to take a while to do. So I'm thinking that first track's going to be heavy and long. So Tell Me a Joke's a little bit more lighthearted. It's kind of good for that rebound, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Did you hear at the end, like 2 seconds before the end, there's some knocking? There's like 8 knocks. I wonder if that's a transition into the next song or what significance that's going to have. It might be nothing, but it also could be something.
I mean, there's the door presence in this entire song.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be his last-ditch effort of trying to get out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought the production on this song was pretty good. I mean, Riley, you have sensitive ears. I guess I really don't, so I just find it all cool and awesome. I mean, he's known for his production, so I mean, I give it like an 8.5, 9, in that range. I think it's really, really good. And then the like re-listenability, just based on the production alone, has got to be up. I mean, this isn't a song that you might sing all the lyrics to, but it's just a good song to like listen to. It's a good sounding song. So, I feel like I'm in that 7, 7.5 ballpark, like overall for the song. And that might be generous, like looking into the future, like listening to it more. This might be more of a song that, I don't know, maybe just because I don't know the lyrics, I'm not quite sure yet, but like it's a really good sounding song. The production, I feel like, carries the song a lot, but I might need to just go into the lyrics more, just looking into it. So I'm assuming I would have a very different answer in like a month. So
Fair.
So
all right, well, thanks for watching the video. Those were our initial takes on the song.
We will be doing a bracket challenge on Quadeca very soon. We'll be starting with voice memos, going from that to From Me to You, and then we will be eventually diving into his newest album. So if you guys like this Quadeca content, please make sure to subscribe. You will be seeing more content from us with Quadeca in it. So, and then also we'd love your opinions and everything. So let us know what you think, what you thought of this track, what you think of the album that's coming up, and everything about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, where did it rate in most, like, some of his hit, like, bigger songs, like Born Yesterday?
Like in singles?
Sisyphus.
Like singles wise?
I guess you could do singles wise, but like some of the stuff on the deluxe kind of would fall into that category, like the feeling of drifting apart. Like I feel like that song kind of stands above a lot of his other stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if
think
this
I
is
would,
gonna stand above other stuff.
No,
It'll be
I
interesting to
think
see where people
Born
think it
Yesterday
falls.
was a better song in my opinion. I think that a lot of the deluxe would probably top this song. A lot of it, not all of it.
Yeah, I
And
agree
then
with that.
I don't know if we're throwing like Live Like This in this category. I really like Live Like This. I know it's a single, it's kind of on its own. It's not a part of an album, but I kind of like Live Like This.
The song's
and
a lot
then,
simpler, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I think I would I don't know. I think it's like in the middle of the pack for me, I'd have to say.
I think it's probably above the middle of the pack, but yes. I think it'll be middle of the pack of this album. But like would I
Okay.
take this over something like Smiling at the Ground? Yeah, I personally
Yeah.
would. And that was
Yeah.
kind of middle of the pack on From Me to You. So
True.
if this is the middle of the pack, I'm excited for this album because I think it's a
Yeah.
good couple steps ahead of the middle of the pack on From Me to You, which was an incredible album to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Cool. Thank you for watching.
Deuces.